Welcome to the Tine Talk Podcast, sponsored by Rack Fuel, premium deer nutrition. Fuel your herd.
All right, Tine Talk, episode 17. Got some unfamiliar faces on the pod, some big buck killers here. Kind of go around the table here and kind of introduce each other and tell what you're all about. Right here.
My name's Luke Norby. Friend of all these guys for throughout the years, and lucky enough to shoot a big buck so far this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a little bit.
Giant. If you can't see it, he's right here, probably hogging up the whole frame in front there. But
Yeah. I'm Fletcher Weiss. I'm just a guy that likes to shoot big bucks, I guess. But I ain't got nothing that big on camera, so I'm sticking to the call bucks this year.
yeah, the old ones.
But yeah,
Just as hard to kill.
right. Right.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Then we got Brody.
Yep, and I'm Brody Weiss.
Yep. What do you guys do for work, or what do you guys do these days? Keeps you busy.
So right now, like, I'm working for Xcel Energy in Eau Claire, and then I help out at my parents' golf course just south of Eau Claire. So
Yep.
that keeps us busy, all throughout the summer. So definitely
Yeah.
looking forward to the fall when it comes.
Yeah. Hickory Hills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nice course.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Shout out to the Greens crew.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I work for Pelkey Plumbing out of Duran. Just good buddies. Just happened to fall
Yep.
into place or whatever.
What'd you do before that? Did you do something else before that too?
No.
Just working with Pelkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Used to be a stay-at-home son.
Yeah, I was a stay-at-home
Oh,
son
yeah.
for a year when Dad was sick there. That was the best. That was the best job I've ever had. Shot a lot of bucks that year. But yeah, no,
Stay
just
at
work for Pelkey's now. Just a plumber.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, and I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah. Brody, real estate guy. Hit him up for all your real estate needs.
Yep.
That's funny. You were just last time we were at your guys' place, we were talking about stories or whatever when you hiked all the way up that hill you were talking about when it was hot as shit out.
Yeah.
Shot that buck.
Yep.
Yeah, I was stay-at-home son at the time. Had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, I had nothing better to do, so just went hunting. Worked out.
Exactly.
Now you actually have a job and you actually got to show up. So doesn't work out.
What time did you get out to the woods tonight?
By the time I got home, it was probably like 4:30. So I was
4:30.
out there by 5.
Yeah.
But it was just right behind the house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to see much. But
Mm-hmm.
still seen some deer.
You sat tonight too. You have
Yeah.
a good
Yeah,
night?
I didn't sit down until probably close to 5.
5? Yeah.
Walk right in and deer already in the field.
My dad was combining tonight too, and I don't think he made it out till 4:45, 5 o'clock or so too, but
Yeah.
he drove the Ranger right past, and it's nice when you can just bump him off with that and then just hop right in after that.
Right. On Sunday when we went, what time do we get in? 5?
5.
A little after 5?
Damn.
Well, we can park the truck right out there by the end of the driveway, and you sneak the corn all the way back, sneak down the ditch, and we just put up that redneck, right in the back
Oh,
door.
yeah.
And there's, as soon as we get in, we look to the right, and there's muley standing out there right away, and I'm like, Brody, big buck. I'm like, oh, just muley. Yeah, just muley.
Damn.
Because Paris or whatever's got that big frame, just
Yep.
like that. So it's like, but, no,
Amelia, a younger one, you guys are kind of letting go?
just a 4-year-old, probably a
Yep.
145-inch 8-pointer.
Ooh.
But really nice. Looks just like a mule deer.
Yep.
Fans out, small brows, stickers off his tubes,
Damn.
type of stuff. But
That's awesome. I feel like a dumbass. I was in the tree stand at 3:30 today. I had to walk up. Oh, my God. That hill that we hunt over in Wabasha is unreal. Like, all we got is one little road that goes right up the bluff, and I got to take that. I was sweating my ass off when I got in the stand tonight. I was nervous, too. I'm like, I'm going to get fucking cold tonight. Like, it was chilly up there, way up on top of the bluff, that
Right.
north wind. I was like, fuck.
I was just behind the house and I was cold. You could almost feel the dryer vent blowing on me. But
Saw a lot of deer tonight, though.
Yeah.
I probably
Yep.
I seen
You
a
were
dozen or so.
Anything worth shooting?
One nice 3-year-old and a couple 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
But
No bucks.
I had 2 little bucks right below me at like 10 yards, kind of dinking around with each other, and one just sneezed out of nowhere, scared the shit out of me. I was like, what was that, dude?
I got my sister to drop me off and then pick me back up.
Oh,
and
that's
so
nice.
like that 3-year-old was still in the beans when she come and a rant just trotted right in front of her, and she comes out to get me and she's like, "Fletcher, nice buck out here." And I'm like, "No, it's not." Okay.
No, it's not.
If it was a shooter, I would have shot it.
That's fucking awesome. It's so nice when you can have someone drop you off and pick you up like that.
Right.
Me and Dustin went out last night. We probably saw close to 30 deer. And we got out there late, like 4:30 or so. He got off work, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just meet you there. His grandpa just putts out back there with the 4-wheeler, 5 miles per hour, sits below the stand, waits till we're in, waves goodbye, and he's
Go.
off. Yeah.
Deer come right back out.
Oh, yeah. They were out within 10 minutes probably.
Right.
But sometimes they'll come back out and they'll be like nosy and kind of looking around. But last night they mind their own business and
Right.
on their own.
Yeah. On Sunday when we slipped into that redneck, we got a buck down to the other farm called Sunday. Just about took him out on a Sunday too.
Damn.
It was close. Trying to flick the window open. I'm trying to video. Brody's yelling at me. I'm going mad at him. He won't stop.
Yeah.
Brody's yelling at me. I'm not ready. I'm like, what? Christ, he's right there. Shoot him. God, damn. Give me the bow.
Run him to a stop like he's got the bow in his hand.
Man,
Brody's-
dude, I'm not fucking ready yet.
Brody's worried about the camera. I'm worried about trying to shoot it. You know? And I don't even have the bow, and Brody don't have the camera. So
Reverse rolls.
right.
That's funny. Those rednecks or any blind, it's kind of hard to shoot out of though too. You got to pick your poison,
right,
like the long window or whatever. Then you got to make sure they're not looking.
right.
Crack the window, and all of a sudden they're, oh fuck,
Yeah.
looking right at you.
Sunday was just like one of those big herd bulls. It almost seemed like out in Colorado, you know
Like
how they
elk
get like
setting?
their elk setting when they get like their cows. He'd come down, he just followed the whole woods down, scraping, you know, doing his lip curl, lip curl, and he's just got
That's
all
awesome.
the does right in front of us. You know, it's just
Wow.
like that. Wag his tail, here he comes, and we still couldn't get it done. It was embarrassing. It was a little bit embarrassing. Yeah,
So he pretty much runs the roost over there then. After seeing all that,
him, Mooney, and there's one other one that really run it. They're all, I don't know how old they are. I mean, they're all, Sunday's probably 6 this year, but
yeah,
Mooney's probably 5.
just stayed the same kind of 8-pointer, 9-pointer shit bucks like that
Right.
too. Yeah,
Right.
there's been a lot of those out there this year. I feel like.
Right. We call that one Mooney. We call him JB Mooney or
Yeah.
whatever because it looks like a bull. You know, that's what he got his name.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we got a big buck story to tell here. What's this? What'd you call this guy?
So originally we called him Cowboy Jack.
Cowboy
And,
Jack.
The reason that we gave him that name is just because he was always a drifter. You know, when he turned 4 and 5, he would just drift from like farm to farm. He just never really wanted to call anything home. So respectfully, you know, like I said, just like an old country western movie, you know,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was just kind of, you know, like a cowboy, just drift from farm to farm. So,
Unreal.
yeah, that's kind of how he established his name. When he showed up when he was 3 years old, you know, back in 2021, he was just like a really clean, you know, smaller 9-pointer. And a couple pictures of him, but, you know, it was kind of one of them deer back in that time where you got pictures of him, but you didn't pay like a whole lot of attention to him. You know, you always had something else you were kind of looking at and stuff.
Right.
So we were running, you know, the Cuddy Link system back then. And so sometimes you get your pictures, you know, every 12 hours or every 1 hour. And, you know, the pictures were always just a little bit, you know, delayed. So you'd sit in your stand and you'd get him, and he was always out there a little bit before. And you're always worried, like, did we bump him out? Because then he'd never show back up. When he turned 4 years old is when he started carrying those inseams on that shed that we picked up, his right
yeah.
side.
That beast. Yeah.
And so that's actually when he was 5 right there, what Brody's holding.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so he carried those inseams. He was super distinct then, so we just kind of figured, you know, this is a buck that it's got potential, you know, most
Big time.
definitely. And he ended up, you know, making it through the season. And where we hunt, we do get a lot of pressure, you know, most definitely. A lot of neighbors because everybody owns like a 40 or an 80. So if some guy
Yeah.
owns a 40, you know, 2 guys are going to hunt it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
At least.
At minimum.
For sure.
Right.
So he was really good at just kind of laying low and figuring out where he was safe, and ended up picking up his shed really late too on a 40-acre chunk, kind of our sanctuary. We don't really go in, and my wife Paige and I were shed hunting, picked that one up with a dog, and then, you know, when he turned 5, he just started really blowing up. We got a lot of pictures of him early season. And the buck that I actually shot last year with the bow we called the Mule, and he kind of ran that Oliva farm for quite a while. But I did get, quite a bit of pictures of those two kind of mingling together for the most part. And we could just tell, like, a lot of velvet pictures, just those inseams that were starting to come, just on the outside of his threes, as he was going to be something pretty cool. And so I ended up shooting my buck on October 4th. And then Cowboy actually kind of ruled our farm for the whole month of October. And, truthfully speaking, we were going to kill him at 5. My dad hunted him, pretty hard. And he was a regular, it's just kind of that cat and mouse. Dad goes south, he'd be north. Dad go north, he'd go south.
Yeah.
And they disappeared for a while, end of October. So we figured, the rut's coming. He's just kind of that drifter, so he's going to do his tour. And then we found out later on that the neighbor actually wounded him a little bit low. So, we gave it some time. And rifle hunting, I don't rifle hunt that farm a whole lot. So ended up, I was hunting down in, Pepin. And Tuesday night, he showed back up on camera for the first time. And so I kind of switched gears, and, I sat on Wednesday morning. He never showed, so shot a coyote that morning,
Add it to the list.
Yep. Always got to. Kind of chalked that morning up as, he wasn't going to show. And thankfully, I got a couple of really good neighbors that we keep in touch with, and they sent a couple pictures of him at night. So he just kind of laid low and stayed out in some CRP swamp area and disappeared again for a little bit. And then he showed back up late season, and you could see that scar on his right side, most definitely when you get pictures of him. I would say it was like kind of high up.
Above his guts almost.
Yeah,
right?
kind of above his guts, like back of his rib cage.
Right, something like that.
And, so that threw the red flag, as he's definitely wounded for sure. We confirmed that. And how's it going to affect him now? So Dad kept bow hunting a little bit, and he would daylight all the time out in our bean field. But he wouldn't really necessarily go for a lot of, like, your row crop, like standing corn or beans. He'd always just want to, like, more naturally sow, drift to, like, a little bit of clover that we had, and a little bit of radish. So I don't know if that interfered with how he was hit,
Different taste or something.
Just easier to digest.
Right.
Something
like that.
simple.
Makes sense.
And so, my wife actually really got sick, and the house that we were living at the time, we would go down there. So she'd sit in the bathtub and it'd work out good because she'd run a hot bath and stuff. And then I'd go out and with a spotting scope and end up watching them and get some pretty good film. And, we got quite a bit of film from them. And then, Dad kind of said, he made it this far. He made it through the rifle season. He's here. Let's just let him go. So we, pulled off that property, and I already shot my bull buck, so it's no big deal. And ended up, he was kind of a regular, stayed around, daylighted more. We got some really good footage of him. And lo and behold, this deer came out, scar on his side, no sheds. And
early too, though, kind of.
Really early.
Right.
Yep. I would say like end of February is when he came out. So we, didn't really want to make a plan to like push in super hard in shed hunt. And I mean, I love shed hunting, right? So,
Major league.
Yep. So it's tough for me to kind of pull the reins back. And we watched him for a while, and same thing, my wife and I, we got a lot of footage of him, and it just seemed like he had like a little bit of like a fluid sac built up, kind of more closer to the back of his legs, and so we watched him, and ended up being that this spring, a friend of mine were out turkey hunting, and I thought I saw him, and he was already starting to establish, I think it was like the second or third week of turkey this year, and his left side just looked a little bit weak, and it was just kind of like that gut punch a little bit, and it's like, oh man, yeah,
gotta let him go again.
Yeah. So I called Dad, and I'm like, hey, I think I saw a Cowboy, he looks a little weak on his left, and so he ended up being true. We threw out a bunch of cameras, a little bit later on after we got some plots and stuff, and started getting early season pictures of him, and sure enough, he was weak on his left side, being hit on his right.
Yep.
And then it came down to, he's definitely a deer we wanted to hunt. And ultimately, talking to Brody and Fletcher too, like, this is the deer I got. Like, how am I going to kill him? You know, I mean, it's the biggest
Now
deer.
the strategy goes, yeah.
Biggest deer I've ever hunted.
Dial it
so
in.
we just kind of, talked in Onyx, and, this is where he's living, and this is where he's going, and this is where he's been in the past, and we ended up getting a plan together, and yeah, it all worked out, thankfully.
I remember you, like, he was coming out to, like, that bean field, and the neighbor must have just combined it or something, like the night when you come out there, and you're like,
yeah.
do I even go hunt it anymore? Is he going to come? I'm like, hell yeah, he's coming back. I go, it's freshly combined. I'm pretty sure you shot him like the next day or almost.
Yeah, so I did shoot him the next day.
Yeah.
We skipped a lot in the summer there with history of him, pictures and stuff, but
It just looked like a meal.
Yeah.
It looked huge in the summer.
And where he was kind of hanging out is actually quite a few people ended up seeing him from the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I love scouting. I love getting footage, and I never went and looked for him because, like, the mentality that I had of him is, all these other neighbors kind of know that he's there. They're driving past. They're looking at him. I know that field that he's in. I just don't want to add that next vehicle. I don't want to add that extra pressure, So I was getting pictures of him, through the reveals. And I actually did run just a regular Reconyx for a lot of the pictures. I don't know if
Some beautiful pictures on there,
they
too.
are.
Yeah,
Like, they are. They're just great.
Daylight ones of him
Impressive.
walking down that, was that like mid-September? He's walking down that road, just daylight. I was like, holy.
Proud. And so, got a lot of pictures of him. But so then it did start of, we went to Colorado for 2 weeks, started elk hunting, and then I came back the night before opener and got my bow and washed all my gear. It smelled like campfire and the boys.
Yeah. And the boys.
Yeah. And, same thing, talking to these guys and just getting a plan together, like I said, it's the biggest deer I've ever hunted, and,
Oh, yeah.
check all the boxes and stuff. And so I had a couple really close encounters with him. He'd come out and he'd just kind of float at like that 90 yards. And I'd send the Snapchats, even to you too. And Cowboy.
Shoot him.
Cowboy, yeehaw, bro.
Yeah. And
Put the phone down, just shoot him.
the first night I got back from Colorado and I sat and I snapped Fletcher. I'm like, I'm going to sit on the ground. And he let me do it.
I don't know why.
I couldn't believe it. And so there I'm sitting on the ground, and these deer start coming out underneath the pine tree. And I'm like, this is stupid. What are we thinking right now? And so he didn't come out that night, though. And he always runs with this one buck. I call him Firewater. So, like, you see Firewater, you're going to see Cowboy. And they've held that ever since they were, like, 4. They're just, like, best friends almost,
Buddies.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Like-
cool when they kind of run together like that. You see one come out, you're like, oh, fuck, better get my bow. Here he goes.
And that's how it was. It was, velvet to we're dropping sheds to after sheds. They were always together. So that night I sat on the ground, Firewater, he did come out, and Cowboy didn't follow him, which was weird. And when I was in Colorado, my wife was texting me. She's like, hey, Cowboy's daylight. He's out in the field. Just killing me.
Rubbing it in.
Yep. So we get back and kind of, like I said, we got that game plan together. And I had a really close encounter with him on Thursday night. I shot him on the 1st, so Thursday would have been like 27th or 26th.
Yep.
And he was just kind of floated out to about 100 yards, and kind of did that thing where you sit in the stand till 8:39, and got back out. And so I think it was that Sunday then that farmer was combining.
Yeah.
And, I sent you guys a snap. I'm like, farmer's combine in the field, like it's over.
Yeah.
So that really did make me nervous, like there's no standing beans. What is he really going to come back out? And Fletcher did tell me, he's like, you got to go hunt that. He's like, fresh combine field. He's like, he's going to come back out. So I sat Monday night. He didn't show. And I didn't see a deer Monday night, which was really weird for that spot. And Tuesday night, start of that cold front. All of us were out,
Everybody's hunting
yeah.
that night.
Everybody.
Everyone's beating it to get home from work as fast as we can go.
That group chat we had, all of us were like, someone's going to kill,
I felt that way tonight, too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
and like deep down, it's just like, man, maybe it's going to be me.
Damn, what if it is me?
Yeah.
Sitting in the stand like, oh, damn.
I didn't have service that night, and it was killing me because I knew I didn't have a shot at nothing. But
And, lo and behold, I got to the tree and, everyone's sitting there, and kind of sitting there waiting. And first year out of the field's Cowboy, and he comes out to that combine bean field, and I'm sitting on the edge where it's a transition where it goes from like beans to CRP, and there's a couple like shrub pine trees in that field too, and like blackberry bushes and stuff. So south side facing ridge where he came off of, and so we come out at 6:21, just watching him, you know, and
Sending videos. Just sending videos. There it is.
Cowboy.
Hey, guys, Cowboy's back.
Yeah, Cowboy's out. You know, it's another night. And actually, where he was on this particular piece of property is a car drove by the road, and he jumped back in the woods.
Damn.
So I thought, you know, like he's going to be back. You know, it's early enough. And a little buck ended up coming out, and then down this main trail, Firewater stepped out. So I just thought it's a matter of time. You know, Cowboy, he's going to make his way back out. And sure enough, and like I said, I sent you a snap and this and that. He just, how he presented himself is he always just looked like a really proud looking deer, you know, just how his mannerism was. Big chested, you know, big neck. And he was kind of, you know, milling out right on the edge. And the whole time, like I'm sitting there and, you know, I put my phone down. It's just, you know, kind of go through that mental checklist and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, you got to walk toward me. You know, all you can do is just please walk toward me. And, you know, for whatever it was, you know, he just started walking, you know, straight at me. And I'm sitting in a white oak, and that's the only tree that I could sit on because it used to be old pasture, so nothing straight.
Yeah.
You know, like a fence line, tree line is just terrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting in this thing in a hang-on XLP, and it's all rigged and stuff. And he's coming right at me, and there's a white oak branch right there. And I just kind of, you know, you do the basics, you know, stand up, flip your seat up, and had my release on and just wait. I'm like, go left, goes right. And he comes straight at me, and he stood underneath me at like 8 yards. You know, it could have been 10 seconds. It could have been 10 minutes. It could have been an hour. I can't tell you how long it was. And I just remember staring at his G2 on his right side, and deep down I'm like, that's 14 inches. You know, I just knew. I'm like, that's 14 inches for sure. And he stood there for a little bit, and he ended up circling back out because Firewater is buddy there and going out in that CRP. And right to my left, which would be straight south, is pretty much the only water source for a while. It's a flowing creek. So I don't know if naturally they tended to go that way because we're in that drought, you know, pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he circled back around. And so I was just watching him, and, you know, I thought he was 30 yards. And, you know, I had my release on ready to go, and he just started walking. He got behind, you know, some branches of my tree, and, you know, I drew as he was walking. It was perfect, and he stopped, and, you know, I just let her go. And just that sound, you know, everybody hears it, and he ended up running off and stuff, and he's standing there. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good at all, you know, and you know, you're standing there watching him, like, go down. Because he was all about 70 yards, and I could see my Luminox shining. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I didn't get a pass through right now. And he was just killing me, and he's just standing there. I'm like, well, he's going to bolt. So might as well get my phone out and see what way he's going to go. So started filming him, and filming him. He ran like maybe 10 more yards, stopped again.
Yeah.
It just felt like forever, you know, just a gut punch. And he ran a little bit farther, and he stopped, and he kind of walked a little bit and took off across that bean field. And, you know, the highest to highest to the lowest to lows, you know.
Yeah.
Just in your video, you're just like, go down. All of a sudden he takes off running, and you're like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. And so he runs off, and you know, I can see my Luminox just shining out of him. I'm like, this is not good. You know, this is bad. And so I end up calling my wife Paige. I'm like, hey, I was like, I just hit Cowboy. And she's like, I'm like, it's not good. And
Before you freak out.
Yeah. And then I sent you guys a Snapchat and stuff. And, you know, when you open Snapchat, you can see who opened it. Opened by everybody. No one replies. I'm like, yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good at all, you know.
Probably sitting there rewatching it for like 18 times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, and I called my dad. He was getting ready. They were doing some concrete at my parents' house, you know, and I'm like, hey, Dad. I'm like, I just shot Cowboy, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, yeah. He's like, I'll head right there. I'm like, no, you want to take your time.
No, it's not one of them. You can stay home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was awesome. No, we got back to the house, you know, and my wife put the video on TV, and we actually brought up our doe target, you know, out of the basement. And I was just mind boggled, you know, because my arrow, it looked back, and you know, you saw the video too, and it looked like it was sticking straight up and down, you know, like it kind of hit him in the rear ham, and he was quartered away, you know. I didn't know if I said that, and a lot of emotions going and stuff. So my dad showed up, and you know, my wife and the neighbor, and we're like, the duration of my video, let's just look for blood. And so we started tracking him, and there's blood everywhere, and got to where the video ended. We said, let's just wait till morning and stuff. And kind of long story short on why that arrow looked so bad is when I shot him, it actually buried all the way through him and exited out of his front shoulder. And then when he was running, he must have broke that off, you know.
Oh, and it was just hanging there?
Yeah. So he must have broke it off in his front shoulder.
Damn.
Because he had that exit here, and that other little bit must have backed out.
Right, just hanging in there.
Hanging in there and stuck in his cavity. So that's why it didn't look like it got a whole lot of penetration.
Yeah.
And there was so much hanging out.
Damn.
Yeah, we ended up finding him a couple days later.
Took a while.
Yeah, it did.
Did everything you possibly could, though. Hats off to you for that.
Yeah, we did. You know, we ended up tracking him the next morning and bumped him out of his bed. Watched him run down the hill. That was pretty tough. You know, pretty tough to watch.
Yep.
So we backed out, and you know, I was talking to all you guys trying to get a dog lined up and stuff, and ended up getting a gentleman, you know, out of Alma with his dog and stuff too, and tracked him for a little bit, and then we ended up backing out of that, and got a drone and flew that drone up and found him laying out in the swamp, you know, and he was dead for a day, you know. So when we did bump him, that was his, you know, his kind of final death run.
Yeah.
And stuff, but highest to highs, lowest to lowest.
Oh man,
you know.
What'd you do when you finally spotted him on that drone?
Oh, so you know, the drone guy was up in the air, and he brings a TV with so everybody can look at it. You know, and I had my dad there and wife and brother-in-law and stuff, and we're looking at it, and drone goes up right away, and he finds a doe and two fawns, and you know, he can, you know, turn that light on and look at them and stuff and whatnot. And my dad goes, "What's that spot over there?" And you know, I'm kind of talking to some neighbors and stuff and whatnot, and also Noah, that drone pilot, he goes, "Luke, I got your deer." Everyone's standing in front of the TV.
You
and
get
I'm
goosebumps?
like, shove them out of the way. I'm looking at the TV, and it was just like that highest to highest back.
Wow.
You know, and
that's awesome.
It was. I mean, it was just it was a long, you know, couple days, because you know, we gave him some time. You know, when we did bump him off that ridge, and you see him moving, you know, it's not a good feeling, you know. And
I've had it happen.
yeah,
I think everyone's had it happen.
Yeah.
But having such good neighbors too, I mean, that was crucial. I mean, we were coming into the weekend of the youth hunt. I mean, everybody, you know, kind of knew he was around and stuff like that, and they want to take their kids hunting. And it was pretty tough, you know, like calling, "Hey, you know, I shot this buck, and he's headed to your property and stuff." And thankfully, you know, he went into this one guy's property, and super awesome to work with. We have a great relationship. So I mean, he was all aboard too. He's
That's
like, "We got to
awesome.
find this deer." And ultimately too, when we did, you know, lose him with the dog there, he went home from work and just started tracking him a little bit, kind of on Onyx where we left off. And he texted me, he's like, "Hey Luke, I'm back on blood." And you know, just crazy how it all.
Everybody's all in to find that deer.
It was, yeah. And
buck
you
of a
know,
lifetime for sure.
we got him out of that
Insane.
swamp, and all the neighbors were there, and family and friends, and it was super awesome, you know. And I really can't thank, you know, the neighbor and Noah for sure, and definitely my wife and dad, you know, and my parents for the highs and lows and dealing with me with the addiction that we have, you know. So, but,
It looks bigger every time you look at it.
It is.
Yeah, that's a 6.5-year-old buck we named Cowboy.
I mean, the right side, the big side's like what, 95?
Yeah, 95 inches on the right side.
I mean, yeah.
You have that chip before, right here.
No, so when we actually found him, that side was laying down in the grass, and when I did pull him up, you know, and just looking at him face on, you know, taking it all in, I noticed, I'm like, man, how did he take that chip out of his 3? So I don't know if he hit a fence post or he hit something, but that swamp where we were walking through, I mean, you would sink up to about your knees in that muck, and he was laying right next to the creek. So I don't know how he hit it, you know, and he definitely didn't have a sticker coming off or nothing like that. So
That's wild.
yeah, just a clean deer, you know.
A weak left side. And his
weak left
side
is
is huge.
a 70+ inch 4-point side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But no, it was, like I said, it was awesome. You know, I can't thank everybody enough that helped me through it. And I mean, especially everybody here sitting at this table. I mean, it was, you know, how do I do this, or how do I hunt them? What do you guys think? You know, this and that. And
We've had a lot of casual beers talking about it.
yeah,
Just casual beers.
and that's what's cool. I mean,
Cash.
you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Oh, yeah.
You surround yourself with big deer hunters. I mean, you're going to shoot big deer, and I'm the first to say that that's true for me. You know, I mean, it just all worked out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
really
so cool
was.
bouncing off ideas like that during
Yeah.
the season, though, too.
Rub us a little luck. I mean, I'd take one.
I mean,
That's awesome.
Even shooting bow this summer, all of us together. I mean, it's just the little, small little things that all came together. So, yeah.
Freaking awesome.
I mean, enough about me.
180 some inch buck. Shit,
Yeah.
we could talk about that the whole episode if you want.
I know. I mean,
Damn.
so we did. We roughed them out at 182 1/8.
Things
It is
it's-
what it is. You know, I don't know.
It's
It is what it
180s.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to wait till it dries.
Yep. absolutely.
Take him to
So,
Shane, see what
Right.
he's got to say.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to see what he end up,
Yeah.
finishes at and stuff like that when he's dry.
I forgot. The night I shot mine, someone else scored him on the spot, and he was like 186 they came up with. And I took
Really?
him to Shane, and it was 192. I was like,
Really?
holy fuck.
I like the sounds of that.
Shane's really good at
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
He's
Really
worked
good.
with a couple antlers in his
Yeah.
life. He knows what he's doing.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's freaking unreal. Yeah, we're all happy for you. That's freaking buck of a lifetime right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
Unreal.
it for sure. Like I said, I can't thank you guys enough too for everything, how it all came together. And
Yeah. I wish you would have just taken some pictures to show him off a little better. Because
Yeah.
when you opened up that trunk and we seen his rack there, it was just like, that's not what you had in the picture.
yeah, it was cool. I do wish that, I got some more pictures of him too, but, being in the middle of the work week.
He was stinky too, you said, because you found him a couple days or a day after he died, probably.
Yeah, we did. So I ended up shooting him on October 1st, Tuesday night, and then we actually fully recovered him on Thursday night about 9 p.m. And so he did, he was expired for a whole day, we figure, and he did start stinking just, from my shot quartered away and exit out his front shoulder, and opened his cavity up and stuff. So a little older there.
Yeah.
What'd you end up getting? Did you know when you got him out or anything? Did you find what you got then?
Yeah, so we ended up cutting him out, and I ended up grabbing just the one long, just grabbing the top, and backing up to when he stepped out right before I shot him. So I thought he was 30 yards. I didn't range him. I mean, when he was standing right there, I didn't want to make any more movement, and
Yeah.
so when he circled back out, I just thought that's 30 yards, And after I shot him and, he did run off in the woods, I just ranged that spot roughly, and, I got 24 yards. And then standing on the ground, kind of looking at the tree, it looked a little bit more like 20. I did shoot my bow, my 20-yard pin at 30, and the variance is pretty low. So I must have been wiggling a little bit out there.
Yeah, that might happen a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, most definitely. But
I mean, I was shaking when Sunday was coming in, and I wasn't even shooting.
yep.
And it was
I feel
a
you.
quarter of that size.
Well, my nephew shot one 2 years ago, and it was like a 115-inch buck coming in. And as soon as we were like, yeah, we're going to shoot him, I'm like, fuck, I'm kind of getting nervous now, too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that with does, too. Once you realize, you're like,
Once you
all
realize
right,
you're
I
going to
think I'm
kill
gonna shoot.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta put this fucker down like as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Make a good shot, get on with it.
Yeah. No, I might have to start shooting does here after tonight.
Yeah. You guys should have gotten that doe patrol thing, too. That was fun.
Yeah.
We went out last weekend. It was me, Chance and Rissler, and Marcus Gable. He's my cousin-in-law. We had a good time. We stayed here Thursday and Friday night. Went out Friday morning. Actually, Marcus saw a 6.5-year-old buck that we had on camera Friday morning.
Really?
It was 60 degrees out.
No kidding.
Just came up from the ditch, just walking by, just all like the big bucks do, just walking back and forth. And yeah, I should have told him to shoot that fucker, but I didn't think there'd be any way that he'd see
Right.
something like that.
No.
It was like October 11th or something at the time. Insane. Got a couple does though.
That's good. I went hunting. Oh, go ahead.
What was your total weight?
I think it was 246 or something like that, because Chanson's was 138 and mine was like 100, I don't know, whatever, 106, 108, something like that. Forgot what they said, but
Nice tender one, huh?
yeah, nice tender one. Well, I was actually sitting down here. I had to film a wedding on Saturday. I'm like, fuck, what if they shoot one tomorrow night and I'm the only one that doesn't get one?
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, I better slip out for a little bit and go hunting. Right when I'm about to get down and leave, there's a group of 4 does coming down. 2 of them are last year's fawn and 2 are just big fuckers. And the one I tried to shoot, the bigger doe, like turned in the woods and was walking away, and the other one kind of gave me a shot there, and I'm literally shooting behind my stand like that, going below my bow arm like that, trying to get around it. I'm like, here goes nothing. I think she was like 27 yards after I ranged it, but I have that HHA pin, so I kind of had a guess like right in the middle where it was. I hit her perfect up and down, but it was a little further back.
Really?
But yeah, I ended up finding her, and rest is history from there.
Yeah. We went out, you remember that? It was a few weeks ago now, but we went out on a doe hunt. But the deal is, I mean, we don't really like to shoot does, because we get enough meat, off bucks.
Yeah.
But it's nice once in a while you get out like some nice doe meat, buddies come over and just grill it up, or something. So we're like, so our buddy Brett, me, Brody, and Brett, we go out hunting, and those 2 jump in the nice redneck, and I just shimmy up this tree. I shimmy up the tree, and I sit on a limb. We're gonna shoot does. Everyone's got their bow, and some come out at yep. I missed one at 45. She ducked me really bad, but I was like 2 feet over her back. I was a little high, but we ended up getting one. Yeah, towards the end, but.
It's fun. I like doing it right away just to shoot one to kind of like get into the thing, like the swing of things a little bit.
Right. That was the first one I've shot since like 5 years probably.
Really?
Yeah.
The bow and everything?
Yep.
Yeah. You guys shoot any with a gun ever?
No.
Yeah.
Dad was always like, "Oh, why would you want to shoot a doe?" Our dad was always just like, "Well, you want to shoot a doe? Well, what if that buck comes? What if that buck's in the woods? That buck ain't gonna come out if you shoot that doe right now." So the whole mentality was, "Well, you might as well just wait." And then next thing you know, it's too late.
Yeah. Oh yeah, happens too often too.
Right.
You're like, it's like October 24th, and you're sitting there, a good cold front. One's like 5 yards away, just waiting for you to shoot her.
Right.
But you're like, buck's probably coming out. So I better wait.
Yeah.
It's always the nights that you don't want to shoot when they do that. Then when you try to, they're always out of range, or all you see is bucks or something.
Yeah. No.
Man. So after Cowboy, what are you gonna do now? You got any other bucks that you're after for gun season?
Honestly, no, I really don't. I really like to get my wife on a pretty nice buck, and she's got her sights set on a few. The only buck that I do kind of want to shoot with the rifle is kind of his best friend, fireball. I thought about putting them on a pedestal side by side.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Because they're just kind of buddies and stuff. But when I let that arrow fly, that buck was headed south, and I've never got a picture of him yet. I mean, It's been 2 weeks.
He knows.
He knows.
Damn.
She knows.
Oh, up to no good.
Yeah.
My best friend's dead. I might as well go look after some girls now.
Yep. Right. But no, I'd really like to, like I said, we've been talking and trying to get into a little bit of start filming and stuff. Yeah. So I'd really like to, film my wife shooting something with the bow, and then most definitely with the rifle. But honestly, no, I don't really have something set for rifle season. This was my main goal for the year, and we kind of punched that tag. So super grateful for it. And
that's a huge tag. To
it was,
yeah.
I mean, shooting this one on October 1st and last year on October 4th, it's kind of nice, with that pressure off of you. Because now it's like you really like manicure some farms like right now. I mean, like last weekend we filled water and stuff, and just sitting back, and my dad went out tonight too, and it's just kind of cool, you just sit there and
rooting for your dad,
waiting
for the text.
Just kind of you're watching all the cameras and stuff, and it's like, hey, I'd probably go here than there, just that pressure that comes off of you, feel it twice in a row is huge,
Oh, big time.
So I do like that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna hang a couple stands this weekend for my wife, and we're gonna try to get on one. Maybe Toro, something like that down the road. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
definitely.
Is that who you guys were hunting a blind that one night? Was that after Cowboy or was that after a different one?
No, that was actually a different buck that we call Big Stick. So Big Stick has just got 4 points on his right, and then on his left side he's got a real big club, and then he's got like 3 tines on the top. So what we kind of want to do is, he's a 5-year-old buck, we think. Just a nice big mature deer, but ultimately I could be wrong, but what I'm worried about with him is during the rut when he goes to start fighting, I just think he possibly could start injuring a lot more deer on the farm just because of how it's probably a foot-long club, and then he's got 3 tines on the end. So
Easily, yeah.
just kind of looking at the big picture of herd health, and he is a mature deer for sure. Like I said, we think he is possibly 5, but he's 4.5 for sure. So definitely we just kind of want to get him off the farm just to keep the rest of the deer safe on that piece of property.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
He's got to go.
He's got to go.
Got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
So
Be
Dad
too
went,
easy.
He's had his chance. He's got to go.
One of those tines get poked right in the stomach, and there you go.
Yeah, I
Lost
mean,
another buck.
if you just kind of look at like the geometry of, all the other deer on that farm, he's kind of the more bigger body deer, and just kind of how his right side sits, so if he does, when he leans into him and starts fighting, I'm just worried about him gouging something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I love finding sheds, but I don't like finding deadheads.
Exactly. Man. Yeah, imagine if you would have rolled on his deadhead last year.
Oh,
That'd have been-
man. I tell you what, I was
Yep.
really nervous
Yeah.
a couple nights, and talking to some neighbors and stuff, hey, if we don't come up with them, can we walk and stuff? And, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. But it's just like, oh, killing me,
Didn't he kind of disappear in the winter for a while? And you're like, I haven't seen him on camera in a couple weeks.
Yeah, just kind of like that
Be
drifter
around.
side of him again.
Yeah.
He would disappear here and there for a little bit, but he did come back, quite a bit. Like a really good video I got of him, I think, was January 15th, because the season ended on the 17th. And, he daylighted right in front of that shadow blind that, my dad usually sits into, and kind of the last really good look we got of him until he did drop those sheds. But, yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have
Seriously?
hammered him as a 5-year-old too.
Oh, he looked
Oh, yeah.
awesome. I mean,
Right.
so when he was a 5-year-old, he had dual inseams, so he was actually an 8x8, would you,
Damn.
but he just had, like triples coming off of his 4s on each side. So, I mean, as a 5-year-old, it was definitely something that, we,
Tossed around.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't tossing around. I mean, he was going to get it for sure.
Well, yeah, once they reach 5.5 and they're looking
Right.
pretty, it's like, it's hard not
It's
to.
almost
I
time to
sent
go.
you that one last fall, and that's how we carried those both inseams. And
To be honest, he looks bigger
looks-
in
he
that
does.
picture than
Yeah.
what that shed is.
He does for sure.
Right.
yeah,
God
and I mean, that shed there is 76 inches. And
Wow.
his heavy side's, 95.
Right.
Which is crazy, for being wounded too. But
Yeah, he went from that to just a typical 4-point side on that side.
yep. Hit
That's
on his
crazy.
right.
I remember saying like, next year he's gonna be 192, 192, and well, obviously he got wounded, but I bet you if he wasn't,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would have been all of that.
Yeah.
That's
you
what
know?
I think. I told him that too. I'm like, I think that thing could be bigger than mine next year if he
Yeah.
fucking makes it through.
Yeah, I remember
Goddamn.
this spring you said like 192, and you like lock it in.
Lock
So
it
I
in.
saved it.
That's
instead
a
of
good
just
number.
Slap it down. Yep. But-
Still wouldn't beat the biggest buck here though. Brody's got that range.
Yeah, Brody, let's hear about that.
Yes, I do. Yeah, yeah, Brody. Let's hear about that.
That was an early season one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
196 or 5.
I think it was 197 and some change.
Damn.
I did like
Too big, don't even
186.
remember.
Yeah. But
Yep.
yeah,
Damn.
Well, that was an early season deer too.
Mhm.
First opening week. 21.
Unreal.
yeah, like the first
21.
Thursday of season,
Yeah.
in the first week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
First
was
cold front.
Yeah. Where it was getting down to like 30 degrees though in September. Like I remember I was
Damn.
helping my Uncle Marty chop corn. I was in the packing tractor and everyone's on the radio. It's gonna freeze tonight. It's gonna freeze tonight. So they got to get this corn off, otherwise it's gonna be too dry or something.
Yep.
And so I'm like texting Brody. I mean, I'm stuck. I can't go. I'm like, you better go hunting. He's got to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole time I'm just busy super busy at work, driving all over the place, doing
listings
stuff
and stuff. Yeah.
And I wasn't even gonna go hunting, wasn't even gonna do it. Then started off with one of our dad's good friends called me earlier that morning. He says, "You going hunting tonight?" I'm like, I don't know, maybe we'll see if I get time. Then another one of our dad's friends calls too, and then he goes, "You going hunting tonight?" Yeah, you should probably think about going hunting. I'm like, maybe might do it. Then Fletcher texts me. He goes, "Yeah, you better get in that stand." I'm like, all right,
Third time's a charm. All right, yeah, sure.
Lock it in.
I'm like, you better get in there early. Don't screw it up. I mean, this is one of the biggest deer we've had on camp.
Yeah,
what did I do? Got in there late.
Got in there late as hell.
Blew the deer. Blew the.
Really? Yeah.
We're coming.
Yeah, we're coming.
Right.
Give him a heads up. That was nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get in. You were telling me to get in there by
Like 3:30. I was
Yeah.
down.
4:30. Rolled up. Late per usual. Yeah.
You got to walk all the way back in the deal.
Yep.
You got to park your truck way up by the road. And
Yeah.
go walk all the way. So everyone sees you coming. All the deer see you coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, already deer in the field when I get up in there. And they just start immediately. The does, they just, just blowing.
Most annoying sound on earth.
Just forever.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this just ruined this, Anyway, let things simmer down. It was kind of a little breezy. You could tell the air was getting colder, but then right around, 6 o'clock, right around that time frame, all of a sudden, it's like snap your fingers, wind stops, cold.
Mhm.
It just starts getting cold. And then all of a sudden, here come the deer. Everything starts coming out.
Yeah.
And it was like a clover field into like the bean field. But the beans were our beans were still green at that time almost compared to everybody else's. I don't know if it was just shadier up there in that corner or something, but they were just green right there.
Huh.
But
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
still
so
early.
All the deer start. It was the same spot I shot Heavy D in last
Yeah,
year. So
yeah.
it's just a nice funnel. All the deer come right out there. And
Got a little pond out there.
hit the,
too.
yeah, then they just
Pond
hit
was
the
after
big-
the fact.
Yeah.
Or whatever. This is before the pond.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
pond wasn't even there at that time, but
Right.
no, it was like 6 o'clock rolled around, but the whole deal was for the whole week before season. Wasn't he just like 6:30 every single night in front of that
Right
other
behind the
stand
shed.
on the other side of the hill? You know?
Like 7 days in a row, like 6:30. Like from 6:27 to 6:32, it was 7 days in a row.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom.
Same camera.
Same camera, same trail, same.
Walking the
it
same
was,
direction.
It was like you got the same pictures of them from 7 days.
You're
you
like,
know? Literally.
wait, what?
Yeah. But
Damn.
yeah, then you sat on the other side of the hill.
Well, yeah, I guess to back it up, though, opening night, we thought we were going to get him opening night right away because it was the day before, 6:30, same spot. We got the
Right.
stand right there, 20 yards, no problem, Going to get him.
I went to sit in there.
Yeah, of course, he gets the first try at him.
Yeah. We arm wrestled for it. I kicked his ass.
Whatever.
No. Yeah, I sat in there and I seen a bunch of deer. You just watched me.
Yeah, I
from
basically watched. I
Right.
stayed way back and I just watched with the binos pretty much. 'Cause I mean, we're almost betting on him coming out,
I mean, he had just done it. 7 days in a row. I mean, he's gotta come by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never showed up.
Yeah,
In my head, never showed up. Never seen him. I see it like all these deer, and I never seen him. I'm like, what the? Yeah, that's like so. You know what I mean?
Disheartening.
And I gotta walk down to like the truck that's like 200 yards away, and I'm like walking down the truck.
Head
I'm
down.
thinking like, what the hell? Why didn't he come out? And I get down the truck, and Brody's already standing there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Why didn't you shoot him?" I'm like, "He came by."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I didn't even see him." He's like, "He walked right by you," and he's like chewing my ass. I'm like, "Whoa, back up here!" I didn't even see it. Here he didn't come by on the same trail. He like skirted me like at 50, 60 yards probably maybe.
Yeah, he come right out of the woods. I watching the clock all night. I'm like, okay, 6:15 coming up. Just watch. It was on the dot. 6:30. Steps out of the woods, and he's just shedding velvet. Blood running down his face. It's all hanging off. He's just coming out like that.
2020 was the year that season started like September 12th. Though.
Early.
Remember
yeah.
that? It like
Yeah.
started super early. So there was quite a few bucks in velvet yet already.
Probably a lot of
Yep.
leaves. You didn't see them
Right.
skirting around you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, I went up there. I was still a stay-at-home son at that point too, but I did help my uncle at the farm, you know. So every day I'd go down there, you know, and check them cameras and stuff. I'd just have it routine, and I would take all these tree branches and I'd zip tie them right to the tree. You know, I wouldn't cut nothing. You know, yeah. It didn't work.
He thought it would, though.
Yeah, it was
Felt
close,
good.
but it didn't work.
Reassuring.
Right.
So
Anyway, yeah, he didn't come out. Or Brody sees him, I don't. And then I hunted it 2 nights after that, you know, without
same
telling
spot.
Brody. Without telling Brody, I just went back. I'm like, he's got to show back up. Never did.
yeah.
And then,
Yeah. Never
Then you
did.
waited a couple days after that and went again.
Yeah, because seen the cold front coming.
Yeah.
you
And then, yeah, that's when everybody's telling me to go hunting. So went hunting, blew a bunch of deer out. 6 o'clock rolls around, they all come back. And we had a couple nice, like, good 3- and 4-year-old bucks around the farm that year. And
really
they were
nice 3-year-old.
One, he was right around, well, the neighbor ended up shooting him, but he was right around 160.
Yeah, it was a little over 160, I think. He had inline seams, like, you know what I
Just
mean?
like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
a mainframe 9-pointer with inline seam on one side, you know. Just beautiful, big, high rack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he come out first.
Want
One
that
of the
one
first nice bucks. He was kind of the first one out, and come right by, right by 30 yards. You know, I was reaching for the bow already, like, oh, not that one.
Yep.
You know, like, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah. No, then again, just kind of watching the clock a little bit, and I kind of sit back down. It's getting cold, you know. Put my hands in my pockets and kind of look back. Here's some more coming. I, turn around. Awesome. Boom. Here he steps out. Yeah. First word out of my mouth was, fuck. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, Mr.
Here
T.
we go.
Yeah.
And it felt like it took forever, but it was so from
Oh, yeah.
where he come out, he was just on a mission across the food plot to get out to the green beans yet.
Yeah.
And you just come straight across. I had deer all over right underneath me. One doe, at my ladder, and I'm sitting there just frozen, and I'm looking, here he comes. And I'm reaching for, here he comes. This doe's just staring me down. Like,
Yeah.
He pretty soon he's getting to that window where it's my only shot. So I'm like, all right,
Fuck it.
stand
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Do it all once, grab the bow, get the release on there, and draw back, and that doe just takes off running, but she didn't blow. She just kind of took off running. When she did that, he stopped dead in his tracks. Just
Yeah.
he's probably standing in Heavy D's tracks.
Yeah. I was gonna say it sounds like heavy D's.
Exact, like
same
that
deal.
exact spot right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Same
Wow.
spot. Drilled him. He made it 65 yards.
Yeah.
You watch yours go
Freaking
down.
awesome.
I didn't. Just ran up in the woods. Heard a bunch of crashing, but then like always, you're thinking to yourself, well,
Yeah. I mean, that
did I
deer was
hit him good? Is he down?
I
don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
Then I had to wait till for it to get dark. It's
Yeah.
dark at like 7:30, so I sat there for an hour.
right. Yeah, but that deer was such a homebody. I mean, he just like
Was he there every year, like 2, 3? Just
right 2,
same
3,
fields?
4, but he was always super like skittish. Like if a buck got out by him, he didn't want nothing to do with it. He'd go the other way. He
Yeah.
don't want to fight. He don't want to do none of that. Even his body when you shot him. I mean, he was 5 years old, and he dressed out at 170 pounds, maybe. He's tiny, little bitty.
Put it all in his antlers.
right.
Yeah.
But that's like a lot of those deer that are really timid like that. Don't like to fight. They always seem to have the best.
Yep.
Chances
yeah.
to blow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Put it all in their rack and not their
Right.
body. Yeah.
I remember when he shot that thing, one of my buddies Tanner Hovey jumped in the tractor with me, and it's like getting just about dark. And I'm like, you should call Brody, just see what he's seeing. Maybe he'll answer in the tree stand, it's dark enough.
Yeah.
And I no more get the words out of my mouth. All of a sudden, Brody's calling my phone, and I'm like, park the tractor, I'm like, did you get him? And he's like, just starts like laughing a little bit. I'm like, did you get him? He's like, you didn't get my picture I sent? I'm like, did you get him? He's like, yeah, I'm standing over top of it right now. I'm like,
We gotta go.
yeah, there's like loads, big silage truck loads coming in parking, and I got the biggest tractor in the fleet. I just turn that some bitch around and I go park it. Everyone's yelling at me, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I gotta go."
I literally
just
gotta
shot
go.
him. Then everyone's just jumped in the truck with me.
That's freaking awesome.
but yeah, it was fun.
Unreal. That was Probably. Well, you shot heavy D. Was that opening night too? Damn.
I had them set up, him and Kyle set up for success on that. I mean, yeah. He was a homebody too. He didn't leave hardly at all. Lived right there. Same thing as Mr. T was.
What was he? 6.5?
6.5.
Yeah.
Found out like a lot of his horns.
Yep.
A lot of them.
Didn't stray away from one spot too
No.
far. Yeah.
No. Never.
What was Mr. T's blow up year though? When he was from 4 to 5.
5, yeah.
What was he when he was
grew
4?
good from 3 to 4 too.
From 3 to 4, from 3 is probably 145, 10 point with a split 3. And at 4, he was like 160 with like a split. And he had like little stickers coming, but nice 10 point, nice put together buck. And I remember taking my sister hunting opening night. And we're sitting where we just got that redneck up now.
Yep.
And it's opening night, And I'm pretty sure Dad and Brody are hunting somewhere else. Maybe they're hunting at home or something. And usually, like, I'd tell my sister, like, "Oh, get ready, here comes one," type of deal. I make it okay for her to shoot. I don't like her shooting all the good up and comers, right? And there was like one rule, like, don't shoot this one.
Yep.
Don't shoot this one. All of a sudden, I see my sister reaching for the gun. She's like, "Fletcher, big buck," and she's reaching for the gun. I'm like, "Oh, this is good. This is good. I mean, it must be pretty nice."
This is fun.
Yeah. I look out the window at 20 yards, Mr. T standing there. I'm like, "Oh God, she ain't gonna like this. She ain't gonna like this." She was just swearing at me. Yeah. I go home and tell Dad, and Dad's like, "You didn't let her shoot that?" I'm like, "No. Don't you say that now." God damn.
Brody's sitting here like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
Worked
Damn,
out.
that's awesome.
But yeah.
Heavy D, same tracks, same. Did they come out? Did they die in the same spot? Did he run up in the woods like that too?
Ran to the same spot.
Heavy D.
Only Heavy D went a little farther.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just replacing year after year. They kind of have that little spot that they like.
Right.
Yeah.
Just wait for the next one.
Right.
You got anything that will follow those tracks this year over there?
Could try Mooney.
One of
Yeah.
those older ones?
Yeah. Like the ones we seen on Sunday night. I mean, you could go sit in that Millennium, and could have shot them all if we were sitting in there, but your scent control and stuff,
Yeah.
It's just so nice sitting in that redneck and you can just watch them. Easy access, in and out. Nobody knows you're even in there.
That's so nice.
So,
Especially this time of year.
right. I don't know. I'm still waiting to get my chance at a buck like you guys. Fuck. I'm just sitting off in the sidelines here. I need myself one of these.
What was that one that you shot with your gun a couple years ago? That opening day?
I shot a few there, a couple opening day.
It was you
Is it
guys
the-
both shot one the same
Yeah.
day.
That
You
was
guys both have
okay.
a picture next to each other, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I was like high 160s, but
Yeah. That thing just looked fucking
yeah,
huge.
funny story on that one. So I went hunting. A buddy was supposed to come with me to go filming that one. He was supposed to do it 2 years in a row. And the year before, I shot a 175 incher, like first light. All of a sudden, I go up there to hunt this deer, and we've never seen him hunting before, but I find some sheds to him. All of a sudden, boom, first light, here he comes chasing a doe. Boom, shoot it, drop it. I'm like, done. I'm like, this is awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, this is awesome, So this is the next year, and he don't want to come. He's got to take his little cousin hunting. I'm like, yeah, no problem, So I sneak up to the top of the hill down there, and it's just getting light out, and I hear the first shot, go boom. I'm like, well, game on, first shot's good, And all of a sudden, just like that, I mean, we had watched this buck all summer long, but I haven't had a picture of him yet. We've had pictures of him in the past, just not very many, And all of a sudden, he just stands up from his bed. And I'm hunting a different buck. It was like a 160-something inch 8-point the neighbor ended up killing.
Jeez.
I was really close with him on my bow. I was hoping to see him. But this one stands up, and I'm like, I know he's 6 years old for sure. I'm just like, hell with it. I'm in, So I'm like trying to shoot him. I thought he's going to walk over the deal. All of a sudden, I had some does up by me, come get a drink out of the water. Comes right in. Like 20 yards with the 270.
Wow.
Yeah. First light, dump them right there. I'm just like,
That was easy.
yeah. So I called Brody, and the whole deal was like I'd go down to the Buffalo Farm. Brody would stay at home, so we kind of watch both places, so don't trespassing or nothing goes on, stuff like that.
I hunted from the couch that morning.
Yeah, I don't even think it's from the couch. I called Brody, nothing. I called the home phone. I'm like, where's Brody? And he's like, he's still in bed.
He's sleeping.
I'm like, Brody, I
Tough
just,
night the night before.
yeah. I'm like, Brody, I just shot one. He's like, which one? I'm like, it's that 6-year-old. I thought it was like 140 incher. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
This is a good one to shoot. I like, shot him. And so the whole deal is I don't want to get on my tree stand until like noon. Otherwise, I'm going to scare stuff to the neighbors. So I sat there until about 11:30 till Brody showed up. The thing's just laying in front of me. I don't go down and look at it or nothing.
Unreal.
And we walk up to it, and we had the video camera with, and it was just like, wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot nicer than I thought. But, yeah.
That's a happy surprise there.
Yeah,
That's
then
freaking awesome.
He shot that one that night. So, yeah, it was fun. We partied.
That same night was, yeah.
Same deal. Buck never would find all his horns, too, never would see him.
First time ever seeing him.
Right.
Ever.
Hunting, yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, there he is. First,
Damn.
Brody shoots at a coyote right away. I mean, because I can hear him. I'd sit next to a window, and I'd open up the window, and all of a sudden, and I text Brody. I'm like, "Did you get him?" He's like, "No, coyote." And it's like prime time. And I'm like, "Really, dude? I mean, out of all times to shoot a coyote, really? Opening night here, prime time." And it wasn't 5 minutes later. Shoots again. He's just calling me, "Dude, I just shot him."
That's freaking awesome.
Go throw him in the truck and head to Ernie.
Yep.
I feel like that happens a lot, though. People are always like, I don't want to shoot a doe with my gun. It's going to scare everything off. You shoot one, then that's when the big buck comes out.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Right.
They're in Buffalo County or around Buffalo County. You hear gunshots all the time. They're probably just second nature to them.
Right. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
So you guys pretty much do you have any up and comers that you're kind of wanting to grow up? Shoot a cull buck or something this year?
Right. It's pretty much just call buck duty this year. Again. It seems like, everyone thinks, I don't know. A lot of people think like there's just 150s hiding around every tree.
Yeah, I know.
But it ain't quite like that.
Got to grow them.
Right.
Yeah.
And they got to be old enough too.
Yeah.
I don't want to go shoot the 160, 70 inch 3-4 year old, if he's got a chance at being something nice.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But
it's just fun to watch them. I'm sure you guys are the same way, just year by year, how habitual they are and
I'd rather
finding the sheds and everything.
Right. You'd rather just watch it grow up than shoot it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
I
Just
do
like
think like one of the best parts of the year is like establishing the plots, moving stands.
Right.
Like it's a week, every weekend you're doing something, and then the Monday through Friday at work you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
What are you changing? Like I just love putting in plots and doing that kind of stuff.
oh
too.
yeah,
And
it's
then
the best.
when it comes down to it, and it's like it's hunting season. You're kind of sitting there, you're like, I can't run around the woods right now.
Right. Like I do. Yeah. You plant all these plots and then it's like you're done. When you get to hunt, but just fine.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you plant all those plots and some of them you don't even hunt.
Right. Most of
like,
them
all
you
right,
don't.
yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of you
It's
don't.
like, okay.
You just plant them so they don't go to the neighbors.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny you mentioned that. How about you don't get down from your stand after you shoot one because then they'll go to the neighbors? I bet you 99% of people aren't that way either.
I bet you I no more pull the trigger and down the ladder
yeah.
they go. It doesn't matter where they hit it. It could just shoot them
yeah.
straight through the guts. I
Yep.
got a gun, I can gun them down, type of deal. But, yeah.
Just that second level of thinking that you gotta
Right.
do to make one survive around here.
It feels like a lot of people kind of like hone in a little bit, too. So
Oh yeah.
just don't even want to risk it, But by noon, they're probably having their first sandwich, so they're probably not paying attention.
Either having their first sandwich or at the bar.
Right. Alrighty.
It's always tough too when it's cold, like rifle season, because you're sitting there. It's like 10 o'clock. You're like, if I can make it another half hour, I bet you that guy's walking out right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But just think of the same mentality that everyone else has.
Yeah.
Or it's 1 o'clock. You're like, all right, it's the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Sit in your.
I'm out of snacks.
Yeah.
Well, last year I was on the doe mission opening day, but one came by at like 8 a.m. right away, and I'm like, I don't want to shoot that fucker. I'm sitting here all day. I don't want to gut it out and just leave it there because it was like warm out too.
Right.
I want the
Really
meat to go bad. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait till like 4 o'clock or whatever in the afternoon. One comes by, I'll shoot it. One comes by at 4 o'clock, shoot it, runs back 20 yards, dies. I'm like, now my brother Parker's calling me. He's like, hey, you got to pick me up yet tonight. And then my dad texts me, hey, you got to pick me up on the Ranger deck tonight. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get down from the gator, go get my doe or whatever. There's 45 minutes of light left. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm back there gutting it out. Got her back on the Ranger by myself. I look over. I'm like, what in the big buck's walking right into the water hole.
Really?
Posted up, got my GoPro on, clamped it onto the freaking Ranger, crept on over to the tree, like looked around, and he's fucking taking off. I'm like, shit. So I like kind of double clutch on him. Boom, shot him, dropped him. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. That could have been so much easier than that.
Right.
I was lucky to even get a shot off, honestly.
Right. That's more fun that way.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hell of a story that way, too.
Right. But yeah, probably the last 4 years I've shot one opening day, whether it's opening morning or opening night.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Just get her done with. It's first call buck comes out opening night. Yeah. Oof, done.
That's so nice to have a gun tag for that kind of stuff, too.
Right.
Like archery, you set your goal for like a higher scoring one or your
Right.
bigger one or whatever, and then shoot a call buck.
Right. Like that one last year I shot with that great big feet. Did you ever see that one? I shot with
I
the
was
big
just going to
feet.
mention that.
Oh.
Elf toes.
L.O. Elf Toes. I got that. We just watched that footage. What was that, Friday night with Brett and Luke? Yeah.
That's the wildest shit I've ever
Comes
seen.
out and he's got like slippers on. Go like this.
Literally looks like an elf.
What the hell? I just,
Will Ferrell out there.
yeah, somebody had already shot him through the back, like through the back strap with the bow
Yep.
already, you know, and stuff. And I knew he was like 5, 6 years old. So I was just like, I'm going to
All
go
right.
hammer him, Brody.
Go
He
ham.
was already wounded and all gross looking. So this is a nice buck, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
yeah.
So what are your guys' goals for the rest of the year? Just try to stay after them call bucks the whole year pretty much. Maybe hopefully one of those beautiful ones around the block comes by.
Right. Hopefully. I'm still waiting. Still waiting to punch my ticket to Paris, but might
Man,
have to
that'd be
wait a
awesome.
little bit.
How big you think that one is?
I don't know. I'd say it's like 165 probably. Just rough guess. Low
Yeah.
160s could be a little bit, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's just got one nice frame.
Big frame.
Yeah.
Big frame
Heavy
for sure.
and big frame,
Damn.
you know. But there's a couple other ones that the neighbor had sent me that are probably bigger than them. And he keeps asking me, like, have you seen him? Have you seen him? I'm like, hell no, I haven't seen him. Christ,
I'd be after him right now.
He'd probably be dead if I had seen him already, you know?
Well, those pictures you sent, what was it, yesterday morning? Those bucks are all in the timber hitting that scrape or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, those, and they're all 5 years old or
Yeah.
older, you know? They're all just marching around.
I just saw something on YouTube of Chris Brackett, the big, like the title or whatever is like, don't hunt mornings in October. I was like,
Yeah.
well, with this weather that just went through, I might have thought about it. I'm gonna be honest.
I hunted last Saturday morning.
Yeah,
You know, it was good.
yeah. Just got to have a good access spot to get in and
Right.
get out of.
Right.
Not go to your best spot, obviously, but
Right.
yeah, I love hunting mornings. Just wait for the sun to come up. You're like, dude, what's gonna happen this morning?
Right.
Like you never know.
And it's so nice to shoot one in the morning because then you got all day to piss with it. Oh,
Yeah, a lot of tailgate beers racking up on the back.
just casual beers.
Deck beers.
Casual beers.
No. Yeah. We should try to get over to Minnesota here sometime this weekend. I guess it's
Yep.
a youth hunt over there, though, ain't it?
Oh yeah,
So you're supposed to wear orange. You can still bow hunt and
yeah,
stuff, but
yeah.
same thing.
You guys after anything big over there this year?
There's like 3 bucks that are 5 years old or older.
So yeah,
You know,
a couple big boys.
Yeah, one we call Droopy. He's 8 this year.
Wow.
The only time we've ever seen him hunting, I seen him last year, opening day of shotgun season, comes by at 20 yards, and I don't shoot it because I'm after the one that I had already hit with the bow.
Oh yeah.
And you had a CWD test him if you shot anything opening day. And I wasn't going to drive all Timbuktu to go CWD test this 125-inch 8-pointer, you know. But he's just a horse
Yeah.
out here. But yeah, there's a couple good ones over there.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you guys kind of, if you guys both go to Minnesota, you kind of pick and choose a spot, or you kind of go by yourself, or what do you guys do?
Typically split up.
Split up. Yeah.
Usually, yep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so nice going out there or something. Like, all right. You guys drop each other off on the way too, or you just kind of go your own
Most of
ways?
the time, just park your truck by the building,
Yeah.
the guys' buildings, and walk out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's all like Minnesota's like all top access. It
Yeah.
seems like, or at least where we are. You know, it's just
Yeah.
we're just hunting like the fringes of the drainages, you know, and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I wish I could have said the same. Or fucking walking up Mount Everest to get up to my stand and I'm
Right.
fucking huffing.
yeah,
It's got to
I
be
don't know.
nice having like a Minnesota piece, just kind of like the reset button.
Oh yeah.
right. Like if for you, you know, a lot of times, like you know, like Brody shot Heavy D last year opening night.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another tag.
Minnesota,
over
there you go. Yeah. Time to get on some public land in Minnesota. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like last
Go
year.
door knocking.
Yeah. Last year I was after that one over in Minnesota, so I didn't even really hunt over here much.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I'm after that 6x5 in Wabasha. I thought he might have got shot today, but I don't think he did, so that's good.
Let's just see another day.
Yeah.
Survivor.
But this is probably the best weather that I can remember, like this time of year for a while. Like
Right.
pressure through the roof, cold front.
I thought for
North
sure
winds.
somebody was gonna shoot one tonight. I
I
thought
know.
Brody was gonna.
I did too.
I know.
Really bad.
I was
First
sitting
one
in
that came by.
yeah,
That's what I got in my head too right now. First one that's 5 years old comes by. Oh,
That's same thing I was thinking when I shot mine. I was like, well, I'm going after him. Comes by, he's fucking getting it.
Right.
Well, that spot I was at tonight is just this clover plot. It's probably 20, maybe 20 yards wide, maybe 80 yards long. And the bucks always come out on the left side, and they come up over this little ditch, or it's literally straight up and down right there. And they always bed right over there. My dad shot the buck, literally came out same spot, walked
Really?
through there. And on my camera, it's kind of positioned that way. And every time I get him on camera in daylight, he's walking that way.
really?
The last hour of night in daylight, I'm fucking sitting there just looking at that spot, waiting for him to come out. Then all of a sudden, I hear something coming up like right below me. I'm like, "Fuck, this could be him." Maybe.
Turn
A
around.
little spike came up. Then after that, I'm like looking down there, hear something else. Got my binocs up. I'm like, "Oh damn, I never got this 2-year-old on camera." He fucking comes up out of nowhere. I'm like, "Damn, I thought that was him for sure too."
Right.
My like heart was starting to beat. I'm like, "Fuck, this got to be him," because the night before it was a spike and him that came out, and that spike came out earlier than he did the night before. I'm like, he's got to be right behind him, but he didn't show up tonight.
You ever see it where they just walk around the camera too?
Oh,
We're hunting down there on Sunday, whatever, down the farm.
Mm-hmm.
At first, every buck comes out, and now they just do dodge the camera, and it's just like, you got to be kidding me. You know, everyone's sitting over here. You know, we're just waiting for a big one to show up. You know, and they're all staying out in the field. All of them are staying out in the field that we want to hunt. Not one of them just walked by that camera.
Yep.
You know,
That's why you get that one daylight picture. Like, yep, got the weather. I'm going.
right?
That's all it takes.
Sometimes you just got to go. Can't even.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Think
yeah.
about it.
Especially early season when it's like, oh, you think it's too hot out. They're still moving. They still
yeah.
got that summer pattern on them.
Right.
even with like Cowboy, like I'd always have to elevate all my cell cameras. But with that review or that Reconyx, like it was just normal, and he wouldn't elude that one. And when I did film him last year with that spotting scope, he's just like walking and he just looks right at that camera, and then he steps in front of it, you know, and you know, you see it goes off. But I think there's something to it. I really do.
There's got to be.
I heard Josh Bomar talk about that frequency stuff,
frequencies,
and I thought that it was kind of BS. And I might listen to him.
I'm a serious.
That's the only thing I'm listening to.
The
him
only
about.
thing I'm really listening to him on. But
I mean, there's some sets that, you know,
in Florida.
like I
It was
give
funnier than
my
hell.
wife piggyback ride,
So
and she'll
funny.
screw them in, you know, and you sacrifice a lot of camera angle and a lot of like camera quality.
Oh yeah, because you're looking at one spot.
Definitely, you know, with that shooting down. But I'm a serious believer in it with, you know, hunting that deer, is they definitely elude that camera. And it takes a lot of wind out of your sail too, because there was some nights that we didn't hunt and it's like, he's not on camera. But then, you know, every night, even the night I shot him, he wasn't on camera.
right?
Yeah,
He's just, he floated right around it, you know, and
there's
something
also-
to it. There is something to it.
Some deer don't give a fuck.
No,
They'll go by
some
that
don't.
thing all the
Parade
time.
right
Yeah,
in front of that, right?
You know,
I swear I get the same buck on every single camera every single day. And
Yeah.
other ones you're like, oh, maybe I'll get them here and there every once in a while. It just
Right.
goes to show some of them, they're like, oh, flash goes off. Whatever. I've seen 18,000 of those in my
right.
day.
Yep.
God.
Like we were hunting in that backfield, like was that opening week? Oh, not opening weekend. A couple weeks into a season, and I thought the camera wasn't working because there wasn't getting shit for pictures. Brand new, like 3-gen, whatever, the Tacticam. And I'm like, what the hell? We go back there and there's like 25 deer and not one. Even the bucks come out and the buck walks there like this, goes right around. I'm like, you son of a gun.
We were sitting at the shop and you're like, something's wrong with my cameras. Like they're not working.
They're not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah. You're like, I
They're
got
working.
solar panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't got to touch them at all. Like, everything's fully juiced, ready to rock and roll,
Yeah.
you know?
The double
Last year it
drop.
wasn't like that.
No.
I don't know.
Huh.
Bomar.
You guys run any non-cell cameras?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
some Reconixes.
Yeah.
You know? Yep.
Those are pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, they're nice. We don't get very good service at our house there, down in the valley.
Yep.
You know, so I kind of keep them just kind of close to the house.
Yeah.
Right.
I bought some of those extender, like the solar extend, not the solar, but like for the service for Iowa. They've been working really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I should probably almost try that.
Yeah. It's down in this ditch that they've never been able to get a cell camera to work down there.
Yep.
And I put one of those things up, maybe a couple feet up above the trail camera. Well, it's kind of weird. You got to take off the antenna and replace it with another one and hook it around the tree. I got to show you the video of it because I got a solar panel on one side, that thing up here, trail camera right here.
They ain't gonna see this.
Yeah. We're right here. And it's funny because another guy that's hunting there this year has got a fucking camera right below it, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been sending pictures and it's been doing really good. So I'm pretty impressed with it.
Any good ones down there showing up?
Yeah, there's some really nice ones. There's some really nice 4-year-olds, but I think that's going to be my goal down there because I can't manage or
It's like that
hold out
that,
for next year or anything.
guy
But
from
if I get a
Harlem.
nice 160, 155, I don't know what it takes, but
Something to get you going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just look at their toes. They got big toes. They gotta go.
There's a couple that are more mature but they've kind of been here and there. So
You trying to
Kinda
go
going
down
after-
there once?
yeah,
already?
I'm gonna be. I went down there opening week, and I hunted actually opening morning that day,
Really?
October 1st. Saw like
Honey mornings in October.
yeah, saw 15 deer that morning. It was an easy access spot. I was like, yep,
Right.
I'm just gonna slip around. Bunch of cattle pasture around there. Might as well.
Right.
The movement kind of shut off around like 8 o'clock. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Do I keep hunting? I've never hunted this early in the morning,
right.
but the weather was too good not to. Then I went and hunted that same, literally maybe 100 yards away that night and saw a shit ton of deer again. Another probably 150-inch 10-pointer, probably 4.5-year-old out in the middle of a field. It's a huge hay field. I'm fucking looking around like, Jesus Christ, there's deer everywhere.
Yeah.
Is this your first Iowa tag?
Yeah, first time I ever draw in Iowa. Took me 5 years, so I'm pegged out to be down there from October 29th to November 7th.
Ooh.
Good.
Good chunk of time down there.
Rut starts November 1st.
Yep.
That's
As soon as that calendar flips.
Yeah. That's what one guy was trying to tell me. I'm like, all
Okay.
right. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
I love late October. Nothing beats it.
I mean, there's bucks pushing does pretty good right now already.
Yep.
Like that
Dad
Buster
said-
buck at home. I mean, on camera, that thing is just constantly running them.
It's funny you said Buster because me and Jake and Coley and them were just talking tonight too. They were going out to their stand October 20th and watched a buck that they called Buster breed a doe
Really?
right on October 20th.
Last year on the 4th of October, I watched one breed it.
Wow.
Yep. On
That's
the 4th.
insane.
Yep.
Imagine seeing that fawn and you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Damn.
I mean, there's does that get bred way, way late. I mean, because there's,
Oh, yeah.
I seen fawns, whatever, like, they still got spots, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. You guys got some good plots to hunt over. You guys leave a lot of standing beans and stuff for late season too.
yep.
Yeah.
Bunch of corn and beans and stuff.
Yep.
Mainly just to help them get them through
Yeah.
in the
And
winter
find
time.
some sheds.
Right. I'll have to do a big shed hunt this year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It should. Hopefully, it's actually an actual winner this year, so we
Oh
find
shit.
something.
Yeah. We were trying to plan something last year and it's like half the bucks are still holding still.
Right.
What the fuck?
We went down to Golden and we like walked the whole farm. Granted, we didn't walk it very good, and it was on a sunny day,
Yep.
so it was pretty hard to see. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did we find? Like 6 fresh ones.
I would say, yeah.
Wow.
It sucked.
Yeah.
Terrible. Weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just trying to hurry up and run through the
Mobbing.
woods to get to the Ernie bar.
Wow. That's impressive.
But
Works
we'll
just
have
as
to,
good.
yeah, we'll have to try that this year.
Yeah,
I'll try to
sure.
stay out of it. But
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
How many
you
have
guys
we put
coming on
on
the
a
pod.
day
So it was
around
fun
that
talking
in Iowa?
big bucks with
And
other
we're,
people.
we're sore as hell.
And
when we're done,
hopefully
you
we'll
know,
have
we're
some more
in our
footage this year. I
20s.
know Brody and Fletcher are working pretty hard to get one on camera this year. So hopefully we'll get some footage coming your way and they'll both be sitting behind some big bruiser bucks. So
yeah, probably
Hopefully.
nothing like Cowboy. But,
yeah, we can look at it for a little while and admire them.
All right. All right.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, boys. We'll see you next time.